Good afternoon, I'm Michaela Melnerich.
And I'm Alexandra Di Montano, and this is Lancers TV. With it only being a week since the results of the presidential election, with Donald Trump as the new president-elect, CBU students are taking the time to reflect on their political views throughout this year's election. The 2016 presidential election has easily been one of the most controversial and dramatic elections in American history. With the campaign lasting over a year, plenty of time has passed for voters' positions to change. Some voters at CBU have changed their political positions, while others have stood firm throughout the entire process.
When I first started out, I really didn't have all the information on my side, so I really didn't know who to vote for, who to follow. Once I started getting all the information, I was a little stronger in my decision to vote for the Republican nominee.
So at the beginning, I think I was more focused on Trump just because that's what my family wanted to vote for and things like that. And so as I got to watch the presidential debates and see where people stood, I think I've sided more with Hillary Clinton just because her ideals matched more with mine.
As the campaign cycle went on, as Trump started to relay his message more and more, I've definitely liked it, and I thought that was the best road for this country.
Student leaders work to build community between freshmen in hopes of bringing fellowship among all CBU students. Daphne Keeling, community advisor in Tower Hall, and Kaylin Thompson, living area council member, explain how they build community. Keeling, along with the LAC members, help in building part of the campus community. LAC members are freshmen individually chosen from each hall to encourage community between their hallmates. Community is built through Tower Hall events and intentionally seeking to serve and care for every hall member. Keeling and Thompson create a small part of the overall campus community.
Yeah, that's really what draws people here to CBU, and so if we didn't have that community, I think CBU definitely wouldn't be the place that it is.
Like the RAs who first greeted him, Thompson strives to care for his fellow students in that same way.
Living on your own comes with new responsibilities. Students are learning to cook, to clean, and do other household tasks by themselves with no one to keep them accountable. College is filled with many life lessons, and this just so happens to be one of them.
Definitely is harder doing the things that I would normally do at home because there I have my mom to tell me what I do need to do. So that's definitely a struggle that I have here, just getting the motivation to do the things like doing the dishes, making my bed, cleaning up after myself.
Well, living here for the past month has definitely taught me a lot of responsibility. You know, going back home, I realized my room was a lot dirtier, and even here, the first week, it was we didn't really keep things together. But then we all just realized we live here, this is our home, so we should really step it up. So it's definitely taught me a lot of responsibility.
With Christmas a little over a month away, CBU finds ways to put a smile on children's faces all around the world by gifting them with just one small shoebox. The annual Operation Christmas Child event kicked off on campus this week, allowing students to get involved by packing boxes for children who may not receive gifts this Christmas season.
Operation Christmas Child! Woo!
Wanted to help make kids be happy, and I love Christmas, and everyone should be happy on Christmas Day.
I actually got invited by Operation Christmas Child to deliver boxes in Guyana, which is in South America, and it was really an amazing experience just to get to see the whole journey of a shoebox. We've done this for 5 years at the university, being able to gather donations and pack shoeboxes, but getting to be able to actually deliver them and see the kids' reactions and kind of the whole process was really neat.
Continuing on the topic of cultural awareness, CBU international students share their thoughts with fellow students on this very important issue. Now to Reagan Melfi for more insight.
California Baptist University houses a department called the International Center. The International Center was created to help international students engage in the American culture. We have international students from Africa, Asia, Europe, and many other continents. We're here to see what kind of difficulties international students face as they come to America.
First, I was mad only because CBU was not my first choice, but being here now, I'm grateful that I chose CBU.
When we come here, I feel it's too much fat in the food, and I very miss Chinese rice and noodles, and I think the pasta and dessert here is not really good.
If it's just me, or if it's other Africans out there, but just my brain is slow, and I come from a warm culture, both, that's what it's called, and there everyone just takes their time. You walk slow, you talk slow, you work slow, everything is just slow. Whereas here, if you're trying to order for your food and the person will be like, would you like water, soda? But it's so fast for my brain to handle.
Wow, I can't even imagine being an international student here.
Yeah, I know. I already have a hard enough time ordering my food at El Monte.
CBU is known for its partnership with Path of Life Ministries to help bring awareness for the homeless community. With the recent death of a well-known homeless woman from Corona, the community is taking action by raising awareness to overcome cultural stereotypes. Reporter Alexandra DiMontano will tell you just how they're doing this.
It's not a surprise that even in 2016, many Americans still struggle to recover from our last economic crisis, which caused a loss of 8.7 million jobs. For many Americans, their family is their main concern, and the homeless population is too often ignored. Deep in the city of Corona, there is a city bus stop that will never be the same. On the corner of Main Street, across the city library, and directly in front of the 99-cent store, there are stacks of flowers and candles in remembrance of a 60-year-old woman who used to always be present there.
Davis was a, even though some people may refer to her as a homeless resident, she was a resident of this community, and she died very tragically. And you know, many people have tried throughout her time here to bring her food, to bring her water, to give her something, you know, that we felt that, you know, just out of humanity, just out of that love that's in her heart, to give her something. Yeah. And she always refused it. And I've never met anybody that would not take anything but yet impacted so many people.
This sweet public figure was one of many secluded, unidentified, and homeless individuals who were consistently overlooked by the rest of society. On September 22nd, the well-known lady of the bus stop turned into a victim of a fatal stabbing. And from that day forward, she has been a reminder that she is one of many individuals who are just like us, human, and not just another stigma of society.
There was a point in my life, though, when I was about 30 years ago, when I was about 19, where I was homeless for a while, and I knew what it was to be on the streets, and there is a fear that kind of goes with it, and there is a stigma, you know, the way people look at you, though, too. But the Lord really, you know, blessed me, and I also now work for the state, for Caltrans. I've been doing that for 20 years.
Just like James Flores, the lady of the bus stop was one of many without food, shelter, transportation, and family to rely on. In recent years, Riverside has strived for improvement in the battle against homelessness. And since 2013, there has been a more coordinated effort to aid in the homelessness in Riverside. But is this enough to solve the consistent and ever-growing problem?
As community members, we need to become aware or educated about what works and invest in those solutions. And also, that takes, even for us personally as individuals, understanding situations that people find themselves in and looking at another person as a fellow human being, right? Which is, I say that's so important because even though the investment in solutions that work will solve the problem, people won't be willing to do that unless they're willing to see their neighbor as somebody who deserves love just like themselves.
If you would like to volunteer, please visit thepathoflife.com/volunteer for more information. On behalf of Lancers TV, we want to thank all veterans and active duty members who have dedicated their lives to serve and protect our country. 4 flags were placed anonymously under the sign off Van Buren Boulevard, a Veterans Memorial Highway. Even at IHOP, veterans were honored with free red, white, and blue pancakes.
In other news for the city of Riverside,
Riverside is a city of arts and renovation, and today marks the day for Riverside's annual Fall Fashion Show. The show will include the stores MP Couture, The Parrot, Miss Tiggy Winkles, and the Pink Ribbon Place, joined with the Vanity House. For the 4th year in a row, Riverside's fashion district is giving LA a run for its money, combining fashion with the fight against breast cancer.
We honor the survivors and those who have lost their lives. Each of you have someone that you want to honor here tonight, either yourself, a loved one, or a friend.
Fashion shows are normally filled with glitz, glamour, and take hours out of the day in preparations. But for this particular fashion show, Ariana Walker, a CBU student taking her master's in psychology, doesn't seem to mind.
This is really important for me because RJ and Brian, they are the owners of the Vanity House, and they are my very good friends. And with their passion for this event, it makes me very passionate about it.
Kathy Wesley is one of the grateful survivors of breast cancer and has made it her new way of life to give back to the community that she finds so close to her heart. Riverside's fashion district ended up being the best place to get involved.
All of my life, I've been taught to give back. And earlier in my career in life, I gave back to the arts. And then once I was diagnosed with cancer, God said, you know, stop the nonsense and you need to focus on living life differently. And so once I did that and I got through my treatment, I realized that I could utilize the tools that I've had throughout my career to help other women and men who are going through this journey of breast cancer.
Riverside's fashion district not only brings in the glitz and the glamour to the fashion world, Riverside brings together students, models, makeup artists, businessmen, and governing bodies together to form Riverside's United Community Against Breast Cancer.
This fashion show embodies an experience of community. It embodies all the different small businesses within our community and what they have to offer. And then when you incorporate the thrift shop and knowing that the funds and resources from that are going back to help survivors and help people who are battling this disease. Just the air, the experience here tonight was, it was just invigorating. And then to put the candlelight vigil with that so we can honor those that have passed, but then honor those that are going through this journey, I think it's a great experience. There's no other fashion show like that.
That's it for the news, and now on to CBU's local sports show with Aspen Taylor.
You're watching CBU's local sports show. Woo!
Thanks, Alex. Well, it's been a week of games from preparation for the Lancers, but starting off with a little recap from Fortuna Bowl a couple weeks ago. Known for the largest intramural event, the women's teams, the Bus Drivers, and SWAT battle out for the championship cup following the men's rival team, Goon Squad, and Fruit of the Boom. First quarter, Bus Drivers came out strong, determined to be in the red zone, and that they did, hoping to steal the victory and redeem last year's loss after a 9-winning streak. SWAT, not holding back, continues to grind on defense. According to the Bus Drivers coach, he says defense will call the win of the game.
He's going to do the same thing, get out in front, block the ball well, or block on the run well. We're passing great. Their defense is covering okay. Our defense is doing well, just getting out there and getting into the quarterback and causing pressure. So our defense is what's going to win this game. Whoever has better defense, less mistakes, is going to win. So.
Thank you, Coach.
Going
Last quarter, SWAT remained scoreless, and it was down to who wanted it most. But Drivers walked away with a record-breaking 10 Fortuna Bowl wins, unmatched by the Intramural Flag Football League at CBU, topping off 18-0.
We're proud about our turnaround from last year. The bus has to break down every now and then, but we're back on it.
And a game that almost ended in 5 overtimes, just like last year's matchup. Defending champions Goon Squad and rival team Fruit of the Boom face off. Intensity and energy remained high after every whistle was blown until referee called no touchdown on Goon Squad.
Well, Coach, tied game first half. Any new plans for the second half?
No, we're going to just stick to what we've been doing. We're just going to play fundamental football and just keep doing our short routes and just making catches and playing defense and manning up. That's all we got to do.
Can you talk a little bit about what happened down there? You thought you had a touchdown. What ended up happening?
I guess the official doesn't want him playing rough in the end zone, so that's all I have to say about that.
Third time must be a charm for Fruit of the Boom, making it to the championship game. They finally took home their first Fortuna Bowl victory. Let's take a look now at our only home game for the week. Women's volleyball hits the court Monday for senior night, and last home game facing off Hawaii Pacific. First period, the Lancers rally it up with committed passes and strong outside hitting to get over net to return back with some clutch digs. And a point to be decided. Mistakes cost the Lancers to tie it up, but at the end, Hawaii Pacific took it 25-22. Going into the second, Hawaii takes the serve.
and an undeniable block. Lancers not giving up to push them by using a double block doesn't quite make the point, ending in 25-19. The seniors were not going to let this game end easy, coming back to steal the win 20-25. The fourth was their only chance of hope to try and walk off the Van Dyne gym floor for the last time with a victory. Unfortunately, Hawaii Pacific was on fire, pulling a 25-11 lead. Though it was a sad moment for the women's volleyball team, senior Jenna Perry wiped away her tears after a big surprise. Earlier I mentioned preparation, and that is exactly what's been happening for the wrestling team. Starting out early in the year, the team dropped 0-2 after the third period at Bakersfield. Nolan Kistler said Coach Lenny told them they needed to be more aggressive. Despite the season so far, this doesn't stop Kistler from pursuing his ultimate dream.
My goal is national champion. It's been that. That was my goal last year as well, even though it was a little bit, my chances were less last year, but that's been my goal. That's my goal for the team. That's my individual goal. And right now it's looking pretty good. So as long as I can, keep practicing how I am, everything's going great.
Nolan beating his opponent at Bakersfield puts him one step closer to qualifying for nationals. Although after last weekend's match against Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, he took a hard loss. With it still being early in the season, they travel to Arizona this weekend to face off Embry-Riddle for their third duel of the year. As for women's basketball, the Lady Lancers kick off their season by preparing for their home opener against Cal State San Bernardino this week.
There's going to be a lot of good teams, obviously, a lot of rival schools and big games. So we're just trying to play our best basketball, not really worrying about what other teams are doing. Just trying to focus on CBU right now and just making sure all the girls are on the same page and that we know all the plays and that we're just getting better each day.
CBU continues to stay humble towards their ranking and knowing this is a new season and a tough one. To the pool, men and women swimmers prepare for University of Nevada, Las Vegas, December 1st through the 3rd.
So this week we're just putting in a lot of last minute grind work, and then coming next week during Thanksgiving break, just kind of keeping intensity up, but less work, but high intensity, and just doing everything to fine tune all of our main events.
We have a week left of pretty hard training, and we're going to Thanksgiving, and then we'll probably taper off in the next week. So we're prepared, we're ready to go, and I'm excited for UNLV.
On the board and in the pool, men and women's dive continue to prep for UNLV as well. Zach Perry, CBU's only D2 diver to compete at their last meet against USC, tops several dives and explains how he's been on fire starting off the season.
My prior training, I worked really hard in summer trying just to stay consistent and to get the bigger dives. So now it's just keep doing what I do and just keep working hard.
Well, that's it for sports. Thanks for watching Lancers TV. I'm Aspen Taylor.